My dream Live Your Peace collaborators are artists who want a platform, a growing platform to share their vocal and musical talent, a platform for storytellers, also a platform for businesses and organizations that want to unify their community, their employees, their staff with music, with a anthem or a song. More projects like Heart Song that invite collaboration and new ideas and new ways of expressing them. Old ideas, but ones that work. People have been telling me, or people that have shared the songs, some of them feel like a lot of joy, a lot of energy moving in their body, a lot of a lot of movement in their body listening to the music. One person told me after surgery that they were able to get out of bed a lot quicker and start their day. And it was after listening to the song. So that's pretty powerful. In my own life, I listen to it and it just gets me out of depression. It gets me out of that mental loop of the things I'm not doing right or the things that I am procrastinating doing. So that's powerful. And when I actually do sing the songs along with the songs, it really opens up my whole body, my throat chakra. I can feel buzzing in the top of my head. I can feel my hands and feet tingling. So it's pretty magical. Heart Song, The Lost Frequency, is something that I want the audience to discover on their own. And it definitely does take on different meanings for different people. And it even has taken on different meanings for me on multiple layers telling this Heart Song story. I definitely learned that if I tried to force my ideas of what this Heart Song performance was going to be about, I would get writer's block. And some of my biggest breakthroughs were when I walked away from it and kind of had a conversation about it with ChatGPT, and journaled and went for a walk, went into nature, stepped away from it. And in two instances, I woke up with a dream that really clarified my next step, like the setting or format of the show came to me in a dream, and it seemed very simple and took away a lot of the work of trying to create the environment that I needed to tell the story. So after I had done the production and submitted it to the Fringe, a digital version, um, and by that I mean AI actors and AI compositions and things like that, all through my own producing, editing, directing. The second dream was to have an interview like this, because I thought I'd be hidden the whole time and not share myself. I didn't want my specific story to take away from the universal message. And another thing that really helped me was watching Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day, because he stuck very close to his or Hollywood's hero's journey and saved the cat. But there were different parts of the movie emotionally that stuck out to me that then I could journal about, brainstorm, and noticed similar patterns in the story I wanted to tell. For example, the setting of the rooms, the main object or foreground of my story, and how the characters were presented, and even what showed up at the end of my story. What was the moment I stopped trying to fix myself and start listening to myself? I feel like I'm still trying to fix myself, and I'm still trying to listen to myself, and that will never change. Being a creative person or a human, we're always trying to, I mean, if we get the opportunity to, we are striving, we are moving forward. And I guess the listening comes from having someone else there to remind us how to listen to ourselves, that can reflect back to us what's important. What parts of myself came back online while I created Heart Song? Well, I initially thought the story was going to be about a specific marriage, relationship, journey that I was on. And what turned out was more of a universal message of finding what sometimes gets lost in ourselves and what gets found. And I think it became more of a richer story because I had that other story in the background, and I had those real emotions of loss and joy and connection and surprise and stubbornness and regret and shame and all the emotions you go through when your life is shifting, and you hadn't planned on it shifting. But I'm glad that I told the story that I did, and it came about through a lot of journaling and uh, questioning and dialogue, and um, thinking I was going one direction in the story and then hitting a wall and throwing those pieces out and starting over, but then saving parts of it that were simpler. So I think that I really learned a lot and grew a lot through the process. What was the moment I stopped trying to fix myself and started listening to myself? Well, I don't know if I've stopped trying to fix myself, but I'm definitely giving myself more space to listen. And this last year has really been a journey about what is it that I really want to be when I grow up, and who do I want to inspire, and how do I want to tap into my passions as a writer, storyteller, musician, artist, world traveler, delegate for NGO, United Nations, board member for different charities, facilitator of college students, creativity students. I really wanted to listen more this year because I had shut down. I didn't want to be seen, didn't want to be heard, didn't want to feel. And this process of committing to the Philly Fringe and then creating a story really did help me in so many ways. It helped me get out of bed. It helped me face my life again. It helped me deal with the things I didn't want to deal with, the different setbacks that came on. And I thought the story was going to be about that journey, the setbacks and the identity shifts and the changing marriage and changing career and changing finances and changing health. But really, it was about, what does my heart want? What's the heart song? What is the melody that's probably been with me since childhood or before? And at first, I didn't really know where to begin with the story. I came up with the title Heart Song back in May when stuff was due at the Philly Fringe, and I had to commit to a title and an image for the show. And then I thought it was going to be about my spouse and I during the first year of consciously transitioning from a he to a they. And I went, as their identity was changing, so was mine as a wife of 21 years, starting at 20 years. So there was a lot going on, and I wanted to just crawl under a rock and not deal with any of it, but that doesn't help you move forward. It doesn't help the relationship. So I started journaling about what I wanted the show to be about. And I started talking to AI, which I've been working with books and graphics and stories and songs for the last couple of years. And it's really, in many ways, become my therapist, my counselor, my sounding board to recognize patterns in my life. Do you have any tips for people writing their own heart songs? Well, yeah, plenty of them. I have a whole formula behind it. But the biggest tip I can give is think of yourself on the other side of whatever issue you're having or whatever ideal circumstance or experience that you want to have, and write the song from that perspective. Write the song from a place of joy, a place of already being in the flow, a place of already experiencing everything that you've always wanted in that moment. What do you say to people that are against AI and they see that you've used it to create your show? I don't know what to say to people that don't resonate with the show, except that we all carry a message inside of ourselves, and whatever tools you have to express it can be very powerful if you take the time to really go deep with those tools, whether it's Photoshop or a camera or an instrument or driving instead of walking. Technology is moving so fast, and we have so many things changing in our personal, professional, and global lives. Some of it's scary, some of it's exciting, and some of the tools that scare us most can actually be used to dialogue with, to find more efficient ways to be stewards of our environment, of our communities, of our ideas, of our collaborations with others, our dialogues. I know when I was going through, I guess, the toughest times before I took on Heart Song Project, having weekly chats or Tuesday talks with my spouse, by using AI to find the top experts in our issues, and then designing questions and rituals borrowed from those experts. It felt like doing a highly specialized internet search for the answers that were tailored to our needs. And it helped us for the first 6 months of our Tuesday talks really get closer in a way that we probably wouldn't have if we went to therapy once or twice. So technology can be really good for that. I don't think it replaces human interaction, but we can use it to remind us to connect more, like an alarm clock or a calendar. We can also use technology to help us look at our patterns that cause us to judge ourselves and then offer more tailored resources or a more tailored search for tools that we need to um, evolve on a personal level or even on a relationship and community level. So there are a lot of positive um, and exciting opportunities for using the technology that is evolving so quickly in our lives right now. I would consider myself a prophetic writer. I was writing stories about time travel and living in space station and being the first kid in space and twin connections and video glasses that nobody could see when I was in elementary school, and I won a couple of awards for it each year in my local elementary school. Um, some of that was my love of Star Trek and um, different after school stories and TV shows. Also, I can attribute a lot of that to having an English major for a mother, former school teacher, and a father, engineer, electrical computer engineer, and then having a whole family of artists and engineers. So that kind of colored a lot of my exploration over the span of my life. And also traveling to over 25 countries has really helped open my curiosity that there's something bigger than our current environment, our day-to-day environment. And so I think all these perspectives help as a storyteller and as an artist, as a communicator, as a person that loves connecting others and making connections in my own life. What is your vision for Heart Song or Live Your Peace YouTube channel and community moving forward? I created Live Your Peace YouTube channel posting my first music video, January 1st of 2026. And at first I was writing songs about people I admired so that they could listen to the song and feel the essence of that person. When I started branching out and writing the songs Return for Birthday or Your Moment for celebrating career successes and a couple of songs after that, it really opened up something even bigger for myself and the channel, which had been there all along, which is really helping people identity shift or energy shift into alignment of their true selves, our true selves. And what I want for the channel is for the videos, the music videos, and the heart song that I wrote, I want it to be the foundation or the starting point of a much bigger collaboration. So artists around the world can remix and re-perform these songs, or even improv the songs in live workshops, live concerts, live performances, and create something that goes beyond what is there now. What is your vision for the channel moving forward? My vision is for it to be a global philanthropic tool to help artists, musicians, storytellers, healers, businesses, schools, community centers tell their stories using music, of course, and positivity and joy and things that are the essence of Live Your Peace, which is designed to focus on what's working. It was birthed out of a career of over 2 decades helping people write their success stories and living them, and noticing that every word has its own frequency. And if the words don't line up, then people have resistance to the message. And huge shifts would happen financially for my clients, relationship-wise, travel-wise, family-wise. And so when I had the opportunity to start turning these stories that I've been writing, stories that I'd essentially been writing since childhood, entering young author contests and having my stories come true, it was really cool that I could put it to music. The heart songs, or the Live Your Peace songs, gave me a way to turn off the noise, to stop replaying old stories about myself, model what I wanted after people that I admire, that are role models, or a part of me that I admire, or a part of me that's pure positivity and joy. And so each song I've engineered, much like over most of my life writing short stories and success scripts and vision statements, focusing on what it is that I do want. And so the songs are a more universal way of connecting with that focus or that energy related to the songs. We can set goals, we can do hypnosis, we can go to therapy, but the process of writing these songs and choosing the melodies and the style of music, and then learning how to play them myself on piano or on harmonica or just a cappella has been very therapeutic for myself. And I started in the last, I guess, since January 1st of 2026, writing these songs, making them into collaborations with Songer, a AI website, and then taking and working with ChatGPT and creating experiences that way. I'm moving more towards images from my own camera and images from my own life and more videos. And I show that progression in Heart Song as things progress. When I first started doing this process of creating Heart Song in late spring of 2026, I did not want to be on camera. I did not want to use my voice. I had lost my voice. I had felt sad, ashamed, confused, stressed about the things that I was using Heart Song to elevate from. And then it started become what I first thought was going to be a personal experience between me and my spouse of 21 years. And it turned more into a personal heart journey myself and looking at my identity and my next choices moving forward of how I wanted to express myself and how I wanted to experience the world. What would I like someone sitting alone in their own invisible season to hear? Well, obviously, this sounds cliche, but I'd want you to hear you're not alone. We're all having human experiences. We all have journeys. What has gotten me through some of my creative changes over the years has been working with others, collaborating, helping others, going for walks in nature, meeting up with friends, doing things that help me get past those moments that feel too challenging or too uncomfortable or even paralyzing. And I do have to say that there are moments that I want to cry or stay in bed all day or not do all the things that I committed to. And having this heart song creative process and deadline around it has given me the container to get back on the horse hours later or even a day later, which might not have happened if I didn't have this container to create my art in. As I look back over the creative projects I've done, this is my fourth Philly Fringe show. It's all about, okay, I'm going to do a show. Now what? I chose the title. I chose the venue. I chose the participants. I chose the topic. And if you give yourself a chance to just play with a lot of different ideas in the beginning, it becomes a much more richer experience. The first song that I actually cried listening to was Your Moment when I tried to sing along with it because it did something to open up my throat chakra. And I listened to it for a couple days and sung along, and it brought tears each time. And now I'm getting very emotional talking about it. I created it because I wanted a song to share with people on LinkedIn that were announcing their career anniversaries or their career successes. But it turned into kind of an inner anthem about rising beyond the ordinary and feeling the extraordinary. And I imagine having a whole choir or multiple choirs around the world sing the song because it's in a much higher octave than I sing in as an alto. And it really does open up all the energy channels in the body. I wrote the song Return because I wanted a birthday song that I could send to people daily to bring them to my Live Your Peace YouTube channel. And I wanted a song that could easily be a birthday song, but could also be a daily anthem of returning to yourself. And people have expressed much gratitude listening to it and felt that it was bigger than a lot of things that they hear these days because it touched on more of celebrating the core essence of who they are. So that feels really fun to share a song that can do that for myself as well as other people.